sabi ko nga, lead by example. Dami nagsasabi na may nagdodroga dito sa Senado, kaya sabi ko, dapat ako...
Okay? Sir, yung reason lang bakit po minabuti nyo mag-drug test with the staff?
Well, actually, sabi ko nga, lead by example. Dami nagsasabi na may nagdodroga dito sa Senado, kaya sabi ko, dapat ako tsaka staff ko ang unang magpa-test para sa pinagbabawal na gamot. Para sa ganun, baka maengganyo din ang ating mga kasamahan. Dahil ang gusto rin po natin, magkaroon ng drug-free Senate, right? So, yung ginawa ko pong testing today, in coordination with the Senate Medical Bureau, ito po yung kanilang accredited laboratory for drug tests. And yung urine samples po ito para sa 5 klaseng pinagbabawal na gamot, which is shabu, marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, tsaka yung opium. So, ginawa po natin yan ngayon. Wala po kaming hair follicle. Alam ko maraming nagsasabing hair follicle test sana. Kung meron man, they can recommend to us who their follicle testing could be, and we can give also our hair follicle samples. No problem po sa akin yan. Bilang principal author ng Dangerous Drugs Law nung nasa Kongreso pa po ako in early 2000s, 2004, it's always been my advocacy. Talagang every year nagda-drug test po kami, hindi po ako natatakot, lalo-lalo na pag mga renewal ng gun licenses, napapa-drug test po kami. So, I see no problem. Pag wala naman kayong tinatago, bakit matatakot po kayo mag-drug test? Kaya, I am encouraging, ini-encourage ko po ang lahat ng mga senador at kanilang mga opisina na magpa-drug test na. Para sa ganun ay talagang mawawala ng duda na mga nagdudurog dito sa ating Senado, sa tahanan ng Senado. Actually, ang kausap ko so far is the minority. Si Senator Soto will be doing the same, Senator Lauren Legarda will be doing the same. The minority would like to lead by example. I believe lahat po ng opisina namin also be going through drug testing. And I'm very happy for that. And then hopefully our members of the majority will do the same.
Ano po bang safe haven staff po?
Well, alam ko naman may due process, di ba? So, of course, we'll give them a chance to rehabilitate. We have to suspend them for the meantime and rehabilitate. Pagkatapos po ng rudimentary period for rehabilitation at positive pa rin po sila, then we have no choice but to dismiss the employee, our employee. Coterminous naman po yan sa akin dahil mahirap eh. We don't want to encourage that. And the workforce, sa labas, sa private sector, kailangan talaga mag-rehabilitate or else matatanggal po sila sa trabaho nila.
Ang reaction na yung allegedly may nagmamariwana ng isang staff, kinagulat niyo ba yun, sir?
Nagulat po ako kasi akala ko nangyayari lang po yan sa mga kanto-kanto ng Estados Unidos, sa Thailand, nung pagbisita po namin ng aking pamilya, dun sa mga metro area, doon mo naamoy sa mga kanto-kanto na madilim. Itong marijuanang ito. So, sabi ko, pati naman dito sa Senado, nagkakaroon ng pot session or kung ano-anong session dito sa Senado. So, nagulat po ako. I'm not casting any aspersions kung sino po yan. We don't know. I would suggest to the Senate Security to, especially OSA, to look at the CCTV cameras. Kasi lahat naman ng kanto dito may CCTV. So, kung sino pong gumamit ng banyong yun, kung sa banyo nga pong naamoy yung marijuana, mapipin down naman kung sinong pumasok nung araw na yan. Particularly at that moment and that time sa banyo na yan. Then you can pinpoint kung sino man yan ang gumamit. So, ako lang nakaka-alarma dahil, alam mo, malaking issue tong drug use sa bansa, di ba? Nagkaroon ng war on drugs, nagkaroon ng talagang crackdown on illegal substances. Tapos, dito sa Senado, kung saan po tayo lawmaker, baka kami pa magiging lawbreaker. Yung lawmakers maging lawbreakers. So, let's lead by example. At kaya ginawa po namin ito na yan.
Sir, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Hindi, kasi nga, galing kami ng States nung summer, kasama ko mga anak ko, maamoy mo talaga, iba yung amoy. Parang sunog na goma. Parang burnt rubber, di ba? So, hindi naman tayo inosente, di ba? Marami namang tayong pinupunta na medyo mga liblib na lugar, like in Bangkok. We went in Bangkok one time. Open dun yung, bawal ang recreational use, pero ginagawa po nila. At, well, legal siya, pero I think it's not supposed to be done in public. It's supposed to be done in your own homes. Naamoy pa rin namin sa labas. So, I think that's something that we have it's stuck in the mind of myself and my family. Kaya alam ko yung amoy. Pero, hindi, never pa ako nakaamoy. Kaya nagulat ako nung sa staff. Sa inyo? Sa building? Wala naman. Until we have a policy kasi marijuana, maybe 1/3 of the world is already opened up to medical marijuana. Pero napaka-konti lang naman yung bansa na nagkakaroon ng recreational marijuana. As a matter of fact, sa Bangkok, gusto po nilang bawiin yung kanilang batas dahil nga nagiging tamad na po yung kanilang mga kababayan doon dahil panay marijuana na lang, panay hit-hit tapos tulog, hit-hit tapos kain tapos tulog. So, I'm all right for medical use, only for medical use, but definitely not for recreational use. And I will never agree to doing production in the Philippines kasi alam mo naman, pasaway po yung Pilipino, maski na sinabi for medical use, makakalusot at makakalabas pa rin yan at gagamitin na for recreational use. So, until we have that kind of policy, it's still an illegal substance and therefore we must treat it as such at dapat magkaroon po na mahigpit na enforcement dito sa ating mga batas. So, we want to lead by example once again. Well, hindi ko masasagot po yung lahat ng government offices but definitely sa Senado dapat ay meron naman tayong pondo sa Senado. Siguro yayain din po natin ang Kongreso dahil naman malaki din yung Kongreso at marami po silang staff. At tingnan natin yung mga iba't ibang agencies na pwede natin yayain. Pero importante ito because we want to have a drug-free Philippines, a drug-free government, and drug-free nation. So definitely, let's lead by example.
Sir, sorry.
If there's nothing to be afraid, then it's okay.
Lahat ng staff niyo o random sa staff?
No, lahat ng staff ko.
Ilan?
35.
Sir,
So,
kung may senator na positive,
well, we should not treat him as like if there's a member of the Senate that is positive, we should not naman treat him as a criminal right away. As I said, just like my staff, let's give them a chance to rehabilitate. Tao din po naman sila. At after that, hopefully magbagong buhay na at mawawala na sa droga ang kanilang ano.
Kailan nyo, sir, sinasuggest na mag-random drug?
Every year, at least every year.
At least once lang.
Once a year. Pero dapat talaga unannounced yan. Kaya, well, my staff knew about it kasi in-announce ko nga sa kanila nung Saturday. But definitely, mas maganda kung unannounced. But once a year, randomly.
You're encouraging lahat ng mga senador na, I mean, all the Senate offices once a year?
At least once a year. At least once a year. Well, hindi naman, basta as long as hindi po namin ilalabas yung mga positive. Siguro mag-interview kayo sa akin after a few days. I'll tell you kung may positive ba sa opisina. But definitely I won't anymore divulge the name or the person so that walang shame campaign. Hindi po nakakaya sa kanila. But definitely I'll have to ask them to take a leave of absence and do some rehabilitation first. But that would be able to protect their privacy. So wag sila sana matakot yung mga kukuha nito dahil may data privacy naman eh.
Sir, baka pa online gambling.
Sure, of course.
Wala na po yung in-app or deactivated na yung in-app links. Gcash, Amayan, your reaction?
Yeah, maraming salamat sa BSP. Alam mo, malaking bagay po yan. That's a big win for those who are fighting against online gambling. Alam mo, marami po nag-message sa akin na tagumpay po yung kampanya po natin dahil nga ay hindi na po sila nakaka-link dito sa ating mga e-wallets katulad ng Gcash at Paymaya. Malaking bagay po yan. Lalo na sa probinsya kasi wala naman silang mga credit cards doon sa probinsya. Talagang accessibility ang problema. So this is one big step forward. And we'll still be discussing other issues during the hearings. I think in the next hearing, we'll be inviting the e-wallets kasi gusto ko malaman magkano income nila, magkano bang nakokolekta nila in totality dito sa online gambling activities na ito at kung gaano karami yung kanilang users ang gumagamit ng online gambling platforms sa kanilang apps. Gusto natin malaman ito kasi numero napakalaga. We want to confirm that really if there's 32 million Filipino gamblers sa ating bansa, that's almost 1/3, no? A little less than 1/3 of the population already. Biro mo, in every household, that's almost 1 to 2 individuals in every household na nag-online gambling na nalululong sa sugal. Kaya kailangan natin malaman ito. And of course, gusto din po natin malaman sino ba talaga mga may-ari nito. And we'll share with the media the results of the next hearing, which of course they'll be submitting to us, the officers and the owners of the said institutions and online gambling enterprises. Para malaman ba natin, may mga politiko ba involved? Meron ba mga, bilyonaryo, mga kung sino-sino man? At least the public's informed. Will inform the public. Kasi, katulad na binanggit ko, napakahirap itong laban na ito dahil mayayaman ang kalaban natin. Puro mga multi-millionaire, puro mga bilyonaryo, puro mga well-connected. Kaya, papasalamat kami sa BSP. Saludo po kami sa BSP sa ginawa po ninyo. That's one way of removing itong epidemic on this online gambling.
Pero sir, sabi ni Sen. Erwin, yung iba, lumipat, mga advisory na the fund continues sa Viber, meron din daw sa Lazada, nag-offer pa ng vouchers.
That's why we need a law. Kaya kailangan natin ng batas. Kasi kung may batas, bawal na lahat ng platform. Viber, WhatsApp, lahat ng mga Google platforms, dapat matanggal na talaga yan. So, that's why we need a law. Kailangan natin ng batas. And that's the only way to stop this menace.
Okay, sir, total ban pa din.
Ako'y total ban pa rin. Yeah, total ban pa rin. Kaya naman nilang kumita ng, alam mo, kahapon, di ba, nanonood ako ng football. Sabi ko nga sa interview ko kay Ate Selly, manonood ako ng football ng aking anak sa BGC. Nakita ko, ang laki-laking gusali, hindi ko nababanggitin ko anong kumpanya, no? One of the biggest operators of online gambling sa Pilipinas. Buong gusali kanila. Sabi ko, kaya pala ayaw nila bitawan to dahil sobrang yaman na nila. At the expense of the Filipino people, at the expense of 32 million Filipinos na natatalo araw-araw para makapagtayo po sila ng mga malalaking gusali sa BGC sa Makati. Kaya sabi ko, wag po tayo maingganyo, wag po tayo madala, wag po tayo maging enabler sa mga ganitong klase, mga masamang bisyo, no, para sa ating lipunan.
Sir, bukas mag-start na yung hearing regarding the flood control projects.
Yes.
Ano yung...
I think they should start naming names, di ba? I think they should start naming names. For example, hindi lamang ang contractor at sino ang mga may-ari ng contractors. Sana ibanggit din po nila sino yung mga nag-sponsor nito, mga budget na ito. Kung amendment po yan, ilabas kung sino nag-amend sa budget for this. Kung wala po sa NEP yan, di ba, very clear. Yung NEP ng 2025, wala yan. 2025. Pagdating ng BICAM, nandun na. So, sino ba naglagay doon sa BICAM? Dito mga projects na ito. Sino ang mga sponsor ng mga senador at congressman? Para malaman natin. Because corruption does not end with the contractor alone. Corruption ends with those who insert it in the budget. Diba? So, makikita naman natin yung mga proponents. At siguro, pangalanan na yun. Kasi yung listahan naman nasa kamay ng mga chairman at kamay po ng LBRMO, kamay po ng mga budget committees ng House and Senate, House and of course the Senate. So that's what we need to do. If you want to get rid of the corruption, we have to start naming names. Cases should be filed, and the law should be implemented at its fullest.
Sir, magpapabor kayo ng third party na lang ako mag-investigate?
Una, bago ko sagutin yan, at dapat talaga may kaso. Kasi, with due respect to the President, he will ask them to explain. Why will you have to ask them to explain? Kung yung laman po ng DK ay kawayan, at laman ng DK ay coco lumber, at walang kabilya, at puro bato, at puro lupa, kaya nasisira, yan ay substandard. Kung substandard yan, dapat ma-blacklist yan ng DPWH. Pangalawa, kasuhan. Kasi may standards yan may building code standards. So kasuhan kasi that is a public infrastructure project. So kasuhan sa ombudsman kaagad yung mga kontraktor na. Katulad sa nangyari kay Napoles, kinasuhan po si Napoles ng ombudsman, siya po'y nakakulong hanggang ngayon. So yan ang kailangan natin gawin. Kung explain lang po, walang mangyayari sa ating bansa. And to answer that, yes, I would like to also have, well, yung Blue Ribbon Committee kasi at yung its counterpart sa House of Representatives, yung Good Government Committee doon, they have the prerogative to investigate. Pero ika nga iniimbestiga natin yung kung saan galing yung pondo ng bayan, which is Congress, di ba? Congress and the Senate. So, if possible, the President already appoint an ombudsman that is beyond reproach. Yung credibility ay napakaganda. And then after that, let the ombudsman and COA make it a joint investigation by the two agencies at magkaroon po ng civil I would say yung civilian participation. Siguro invite din niya po yung mga anti-corruption crusaders para may civil society participation. So trio yan, magiging tatlo po yan. COA, Ombudsman, and civil society, they come up with a fact-finding commission at habulin po nila itong mga to.
Hindi kailangan ng presidente na emergency power to solve it.
May mga batas naman po tayo. I recall during the time of President Noynoy nung in-investigate po yung PDAF scam, hindi naman po natin siya binigyan ng emergency powers. I can't recall giving the President emergency powers then. It was only the crusade of the Ombudsman who was Carpio Morales, na talagang matinding ombudsman yun, at tinulungan po siya ni Kim Henares, who was in the BIR, kasi syempre in-investigate din po yung incomes ng mga contractors na ito. So yan ang dapat kailangan natin gawin. Fact-finding commission headed by the COA, the Ombudsman, and a third-party civil society group para